Hey, it's me again, and we're gonna take a look at the insanity that is Common Core. Now, I've looked at a few videos, and we're gonna take a look at this in case I'm pretty sure everyone knows about this already, but there are some people who don't. I told my friends, and they had no fucking idea what I was talking about. But, let's just take a look into this, and we'll just, you'll see.
Okay, so there's been a lot of stuff on the interwebs about, like, how Common Core is evil and
It is evil, you fucking idiot!
wrong and horrible. And one of the big controversies has been Common Core math. So we're going to look at how the new Common Core math works. We're going to look at what the old way kind of missed. We're going to look at how to do the new way. Then we're going to look at why there's a new way. And then we're going to look at why so many people are upset about it.
Oh my god, I think his voice is worse than the fucking Common Core.
And really, it's politics. First up, you've all seen this.
Now, let's just stop. Maximize the screen. I have never fucking seen this before I wanted to make this video. And yes, obviously someone put this up here to show the simplicity of normal math and the insanity of this new Common Core math. Any questions? Yes, lots of fucking questions. But let's take a look at this, for example. The question that we're given is 243 minus 87. By just simply subtracting and carrying the ones over and blah, 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 you would get 156 in about 5 to 10 seconds. But with this method, you have to draw these fucking line graphs and add all this. But let's just see exactly how he does it.
Facebook.com/.
I'm going to jump forward a bit.
Goodness, how did we get here? That again. Jeez. Every time I do this, I always have the same thing. I want to say it's 4 because there's that, but no, it's a 6. It's a 6, yes. So then it's 2. No, because I know it's got to be because the thing with the 1.
Now let's just pause right here. Right now, he is intentionally getting this very simple mathematical equation wrong in some ridiculous attempt to see, look, when you try to do it the normal way, you just get confused and you don't know what you're doing. And is it 164? I don't know. Maybe the answer is 1,000. I don't know.
So,
maybe you just suck at math.
Is that right? Okay, so that should.
So now let's jump into. Let's get this fast forward. Here.
87.
Now, right now, imagine you're taking a. Well, of course you're not doing it. Imagine your fucking kid is taking a math test the new way, and already, here's the question: 243 minus 87. Now we have to draw this fucking. Well, okay, let's just assume that this will already be there. Like, yeah, when you print the paper out, this will already be there. This will take up so much fucking space, it's ridiculous. And he says, well, we know 87 will go here on the chart.
87 plus 3 gets me to 90.
87 plus 3 gets you to 90. Question: why do you want to get to 90? What is the significance of 90?
Right? So 90. 90 to 100 is 10. All the way up to 200. Another 100.
So now we can see he's starting at 87, which is, 87 here, and he's slowly adding numbers up that will get him to 243. So already we have done several math questions. We have 3 plus 10, which is 13, plus 100. But let's pause this for a second and go to this one, and this will make some sense why I'm pausing it and jumping to another video.
32 minus 12.
This is another subtraction problem, but a simpler subtraction problem.
12 plus 3 equals 15.
Now, I know this guy is pointing out that this is silly and a bad method, so I'm not attacking him like I'm attacking the other guy. I'm just using the question he's presenting us to prove my point. 32 minus 12. So, but already, okay, there's no line graph this time. Why is there no line graph? If this is the new way, shouldn't there be a universal new way where everyone has a line graph that takes up half of the fucking paper? But no, this one does not. He just says 12 plus 3 is 15. Yes, 12 plus 3 is 15. What is the significance of that? Why do we need to know 12 plus 3 equals 15? And furthermore, why is it that you did not draw out a line graph and fucking squares and circles and triangles to figure out what 12 plus 3 is? But it gets even worse.
5 equals 20. 20 plus 10 equals 30. 30 plus 2 equals 32.
Okay, stop. In trying to answer this simple subtraction problem that I'm pretty sure if you're watching this, if you've never heard of Common Core, you've already figured this answer out in your head. You ask yourself, why did they just give us 4 fucking addition problems? And furthermore, let's take a look at this right here. 20 plus 10. This is a question where we have two double-digit numbers that are being subtracted. And to subtract them, they want you to do this cockamamie bullshit down here. But when we're down here, we have 20 plus 10, and we just do it the normal way, and you get the answer. Well, 20 plus 10, you stack them and you rack them. Okay, 0 and 0 is 0. 2 plus 1 is 3. The answer is 30, right? You did it in like 2 seconds. Why can't you just subtract 32 from 12 in 2 fucking seconds? What is the point of this?
3 plus 5 is 8 plus 10 is 18 plus 2.
And then he just takes these. What if someone wrote this 3 plus 12, or 15 plus 5, or 10 plus 20? You'd be adding up different numbers. Do you always add the higher number plus the smaller number? This is retarded.
It's 20. 32
And it's like,
minus
yeah.
12 equals 20.
So, yeah, 10 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2 is 20. If you add up those 4 numbers, you will get 20. You have to do 4 additional addition questions to get 1 fucking subtraction answer. But let's go back to the first one, because we got off that a little bit. We continue. And if you remember, it was 3 plus 10 plus 100 is excuse me, it's 113.
And then over here to 243. So plus 43.
And plus 43,
I don't know why I drew this
243.
little plus sign here, but I did. So let's do 100 plus 43 is 143 plus 10.
Now let's just, all of this so far just got us 243. We're back to 243.
10 is 153 plus another 3 is 156. 156. The correct answer. I can real quick double check my work. 200 to 243 is 43, so that's correct. 100 to 200 is 100, that's correct. 100 to 90, that's correct. 90 down to 87, well, I can simplify that. Okay, so I know that that's 3, pretty simple. So 3 plus 10 is 13, plus 100 is 113, plus 43 is 156. So again, I've got the answer pretty simply. Now that you see it, now that you know that number lines work pretty easily,
he describes this as pretty easily. How would you expect a young child who's like, I don't know, 5 years old to understand all of this shit? Can you look at this question? This is 243 minus 87. And look how much space this took up. Look how much time this took. This video is, well, a minus if you take away from the first couple of minutes where he's trying to do the original way and fail on purpose. This is almost an 8-minute video. Let's just scale it back for a second. He starts the video here.
Really what we want to know is what's the difference.
So it takes around 5 minutes or 6 minutes to do this question when you can do this question in like 30 seconds if you do it the normal way? So to wrap up, what is the fucking point of Common Core? Well, if you read up on Common Core, it's basically a program that Bill Gates' foundation and several other people had wanted to enact for a very long time, where they get rid of the old method and they give you this new method that complicates every subject. In math, as you can see, they are taking simple questions and making them so complicated that children will be there all fucking day working on 5 problems. Or, back when I was in 4th and 5th grade, we would do like 50 problems in a day. You'll get like maybe 7 problems if you're doing it like this. And the other ridiculous part of this is with the math, like I said before, there's no standard. I've seen other videos where they have kids drawing squares and circles and triangles and cows to represent the amount of numbers, and there's no one method. They have all these different methods that take an extreme amount of time. Look, I'm not saying that it's bad if a kid learns another way, because even with the normal method of math, people do it different ways. Some kids write everything down. Some kids can do it in their heads. Some kids count on their fingers. Some kids do a combination of both. They learn the way they learn. But with Common Core, they're basically saying there is only one way to learn, and it is the longest way possible. And even with it being the longest way possible, there are videos, I will try to put them in the description boxes, where there are parents and teachers talking about how I was in class and we were doing a math core problem, and we were put in groups of 4, and I agreed that the answer was 47, but the other kids said that the answer was not 47. And even though 47 was the correct answer, I got it wrong because the point of the exercise was not to determine what the correct answer was. The point was to agree on a number. And I'm not making that shit up. That's real. Think about that. Their whole shtick about why we need Common Core is because we have to be able to compete with China and India and these other countries that are testing better than we are. How are we going to test better than these other countries when one of the goals of this methodology is to agree on something, whether it's right or wrong? In India, they are not having kids break up into groups of 5, and then they say, what is 243 minus 87? And one kid says, I think the answer is 2. And he says, no, that's not the right answer. But we think it's 2, so we're going to get it right. It's 2. So you'll have 10 different groups where kids will come up with different numbers. Some will get the correct answer, some will get the wrong answer. And at the end of the day, the entire class can get it wrong because the majority of the groups picked different numbers. And we'll have to have a vote. There is no vote. There is a right answer, and then there is every other number that is wrong. 243 minus 87 has one answer. And you don't need to do 10 fucking equations to do one problem. You don't need to do 3 plus 10 plus 100 plus 43. Just subtract the 2 fucking numbers and do it. But, like I said before, they want to just monopolize the education system where they will no longer be an entire library of textbooks. They want it so that when you go into college, because they're trying to put this shit in college, too. It's not just, grades 1 through 12. They want to put this shit, I think it's already in several private schools, and they're trying to slowly but surely abolish homeschooling, so you can't get away. You can't take your kids to homeschool. You can't put them in private schools, because the private schools will sooner or later have this as well, and you'll just have to fucking bend over and take it berry. And the thing that kills me is that that the people who came up with this shit are not putting their kids in no fucking Common Core school. I remember I was watching a film with my friends. I think it was the animated version of Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, Part 1. I could be wrong, but it was one of those fucking Batman movies. And in the movie, there was a scene where there was like some fat white guy, you know, some stereotypical evil white guy, business guy, Wall Street fucker, who is like being interviewed by like some news outlet, and they're like, "What do you think of Gotham? Is it really the crime-ridden cesspool that people think it is?" And he's like, "No, you know, Gotham's fine. I work here every day, and then it's fine. I take the taxi, and then Gotham's a fine place. People just need to give it a chance. We just need some reform, and you know, Gotham is a fine place to live." And then they say, "Well, where do you live? Do you live in Gotham?" He's like, "I know I don't live in no fucking Gotham. I know that shit." And then he got in the fucking taxi and drove away. And I'm like, that's what these people are. Obama, fucking Bill Gates, all the people who are, you know, funding this, the people who are making the textbooks, they're not sending their kids to this fucking shit. They want to send our kids to this shit, while they will go to the small handful of private schools that don't teach Common Core. And if you want to know how something this ridiculous even got passed, long story short, there was an initiative called Reach for the. It was like Reach for the money or some shit. I forget. It was something along those lines. You know, once again, I'll post it in the underbar. But the initiative was basically saying that we are going to give all of the schools in the country a boatload of money for funding. You know, we're going to give your school a bunch of money. However, should you take that money, you know, there's a catch to it. I mean, they should have just called this initiative the fucking monkey paw initiative, because basically what it stated was, if you take the money, you're going to have to adapt to the Common Core curriculum when it is finished. Because at the time, it wasn't finished. So, you know, being given all that money, I think it was like in the billions of dollars they were being given. They took the money, of course. And they didn't even know what the fuck Common Core was, because there was no guidelines, it wasn't finished, it wasn't completed. And let's just be honest. It was fucking completed. The people who made this, they knew exactly what they wanted. They bribed these schools with a bunch of money, they took it, and they're like, well, now they took the money, so we can just sit in our boardrooms and just concoct whatever bullshit we want. Common Core could be whatever we want. They took the money. It's over. We won. So Common Core will be this. And this is just the math. I don't even fucking know like what the. I've heard so many fucking horror stories. You know, once again, there's like a professor who talked about this for 2 hours, where he's talking about how in the other subjects they are making these ridiculous annotated versions of textbooks, where like not textbooks of novels. So, you know, when I was a kid, we read books like Where the Red Fern Grows and Catcher in the Rye and The Great Gatsby and all that shit. You know, those kind of books. You know, I'm not going through the whole list. Those are the ones that I remember off the top of my head. And actually, no, I read Where the Red Fern Grows when I was like in 4th grade. But I'm just saying, like, during my time from like, you know, 1st grade to high school, we read books like that, like, you know, Mice and Men, you know, Steinbeck shit, Mark Twain shit, fucking Edgar Allan Poe, some stuff from Benjamin Franklin, Scarlet Letter. What other books have I read? Fucking Wise Blood. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? We even read the fucking Hunger Games, but I wouldn't really count that as a legitimate book. That's more like tween shit, but we had to read it nonetheless. We also read Lolita, which I couldn't stand it, but, you know, it's a book or whatever. But the books that they will be reading, if they even read any of these books that I've mentioned, if they don't read Hunger Games, they'll be lucky. But, like, for example, let's say they will take a book like of Mice and Men or Catcher in the Rye, and instead of actually reading the fucking novel in class, they will make an abridged version where they just have quotes from the book, and then they'll have some liberal retard fucking summarize everything in their own words. And so your kids won't be reading the real book. They'll be reading a abridged version that is dictated to them, and they'll never know if it's real or not, or if what they're saying is true or not, because they never had the opportunity to read the book. And you're like, why is that? Why would they implement something where you're not even reading fucking books? What kind of system that says we put this in place because we want to teach kids how to read and do math better and do this, the kid had to perform better. How are they going to perform better by doing less? If you're not even reading classic fucking books, how are you going to even do anything with this? Like, what is it? What is the point of reading a book if you're not going to read the real book? Hey, kids, we're going to read Romeo and Juliet or the Tale of the Shrew. Not the actual Romeo and Juliet. This is like a fucking 30-page version of it. It's ridiculous. And then we're going to watch the film version. Like, hey kids, we're gonna read The Great Gatsby, but not the real Great Gatsby. We're gonna read The Short Gatsby. The Short Gatsby is like 15 pages, but don't worry, the whole story's there. And when we're finished, we're going to watch 5 minutes of the Great Gatsby movie, the old one. That's it's on Netflix now, so we'll just get on Netflix and we'll watch like the last 15 minutes of The Great Gatsby, and that'll just summarize everything. No one's gonna learn from this type of shit. They're just gonna make everyone retarded, and then we won't be able to compete with ourselves. But all the conspiracy theories are like, that's what they want. Socialism, social engineering, the Illuminati, blah 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 blah. And it's like, I don't really know about all that, but as far as conspiracies go, this is probably the closest thing to a conspiracy that we're gonna get, as far as actual conspiracy.